Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pragati Tiwari and today we are going to talk about CA articleship interview. My comment section in the last two videos is filled with two videos. Like the people are asking for two videos. One, how to improve your communication skills, because you guys loved my communication skills. The video is coming up very soon. And the second kind of video that everybody wants from my channel is CA articleship interview. So now let's get into the process. So starting with first, let me tell you how many rounds there are in the CA articleship interview of Big Fours and Big Sixes. So basically there are going to be 5 rounds in CA articleship selection process in all of the Big Fours and Big Sixes. Now when I tell you about the 5 processes, remember that the number of processes that a firm carries out for the selection of CA articles depends and varies firm to firm and location to location. So for example, Deloitte Mumbai may not follow all the steps that Deloitte Delhi is following. Similarly, PwC Bangalore may not follow all the steps as PwC Delhi is following. Okay, so the number of steps that a firm follows varies firm to firm and location to location. But when I name you all the 5 steps, these are the general steps which basically takes place in all of the Big Four. So suppose there is a Big Four, suppose there is KPMG or PwC, suppose they are not doing bulk hiring, they are going to select very limited number of articles in a particular attempt because there is not much vacancy in their firms, then it may be possible that they may carry out all of the 5 steps that I am telling you. And there might be situations, times when a firm is hiring in bulk, like they are in dire need of resources. In that case, they are going to follow all of the 5. They are not going to follow all of the 5 steps. They'll just maybe follow step 1 and step 5 and done. You are in. You're selected. So when I tell you the 5 steps, it is a general procedure of selection of articles in all of the Big Fours. Depends and varies location to location, firm to firm, and requirement wise. So I'm going to name you all the 5 steps. So the first step is HR round. Okay, HR round is nothing but the first time you getting a call from the HR of a Big Four or Big Six. That is the HR round. Then there will be an assessment. Okay, it is going to be a general assessment which will consist of some questions. It is going to be an online proctored exam of maybe 30 to 45 minutes in which you will be answering some questions. Which will mostly be based on English, GK, etc. I'll explain, I'll brief it out later. Then third is going to be a group discussion round. Then fourth is going to be the technical round, and fifth is going to be the partner round. So these are the 5 steps which is the general procedure of selection of CA articles in a Big Four or Big Six firm, but it depends, as I told you, and varies heavily on location to location, firm to firm, and requirement to requirement. Now let's get into the first step, which is nothing but our HR round. Now when I say the HR round, in HR round, it is basically the first time you're getting a call from the HR of the Big Four or Big Six. So suppose you have applied into all of the Big Fours, Big Six, or whatever firm you want, whatever location you want. The first time that you get a call is the HR round. So the first question that they are going to ask you is, tell me about yourself. I know, very basic question, but it is a make or break question. It is going to decide whether you are going to get the next call from the HR or not. Now, in this first question where they ask, tell me about yourself, I'm just going to give you a sample answer, and you can obviously customize it accordingly. So I said, hello, this is Pragati Tiwari. I have been born and brought up all over India because my father is in defense and he used to get transferred every 3 to 5 years. So I have done my schooling from most of the parts of India. Coming to my CA profession, I cleared my CA foundation in May 2022 attempt with 331 out of 400 marks. And I cleared my CA intermediate in November 2023 attempt with 479 out of 800 marks and an exemption in 5 subjects. I was not able to clear my CA intermediate in my first attempt, but I gave my best and learned from my mistakes from my first attempt and gave my best in my second attempt. Apart from my education and professional qualification, I also love to write poems. I compose poems. I love to recite poems. I love public speaking, speech, debates, etc. I also love dancing. I'm very fond of stand-up comedy as well. And that's all about me. Okay, so this is just a sample answer. Now, you would have noticed in this answer that I fumbled. Now, you have to understand that my first language, my mother tongue, is not English. Neither is yours. Neither is the person taking your interview. Even the interviewers fumble in the interviews because, be it any location, any firm that you are applying, be it Delhi ka PWC, be it Bangalore's PWC, people, when in their offices, people are speaking in their mother tongue with each other. So suppose it's not generally common, like one thing that I would like to tell you is PWC Bangalore, Big Fours or Big Sixes of Bangalore is a special is an exception. Why? Because the Big Fours or Big Sixes in the Bangalore location, basically the diversity in these firms is very varied. It's too much, because there are people coming from north parts of India like me. There are people coming from Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, many backgrounds. There are people coming from Mumbai, then there are people coming from Delhi, people coming from northeast India. So since there is so much diversity, mostly you will see the Big Fours or Big Sixes of Bangalore. In those offices, people are talking in English with each other. But if I tell you the situation of Big Fours or Big Fours or Big Sixes of Mumbai or Big Fours or Big Sixes of Delhi, you should know that in offices, in their day-to-day life, in their day-to-day work, they are talking with each other in Hindi. Maybe if the client is international, they are talking with them in English. But if the clients are belong to India, then even with the clients, they are talking in Hindi. So you have to understand that English is not my, not yours, neither of the interviewers. English is not our mother tongue. And hence, you, me, and they, all of us fumble in this language. We are still learning. We are still coping up. But you have to understand that if you fumble, no, it does not mean that you don't know English, you don't know how to speak in English, or you are not confident. The only thing that matters is your confidence, right? So I might have fumbled, the interviewers also might fumble, but that doesn't mean anything. The only thing that it means is that you are trying your very best, you are learning and you are giving your best, okay? So yeah. So the first question is, tell me about yourself. So I gave you a sample answer. You just tell them, where have you born and brought up, in what school did you complete your education from, what attempt did you clear your CA foundation in, what marks did you score, CA intermediate, what marks did you score, how many exemptions, apart from education, what is your co-curricular activities, where are you doing BCom from, what is your hobbies, how do you spend your leisure time, etc, etc, etc. The second question that the HRs ask in the HR round is, why CA? Now, I'll tell you what I had answered, because I have also seen that this is the answer of many of my friends also. But the thing is, when I had answered, when I used to answer this question, it used to be very genuine. Like, it is what is. It's not a made-up answer. So what I used to say is ki I have been a terrific student throughout my student life. Once I cleared my class 10th, while choosing streams, I did not want to go into science because I was not interested in science and was also not interested in history or arts. Hence, I took commerce. Once I took commerce, and since I had always been a topper, my mentors and class teachers, everybody guided me towards, introduced me towards CA course. That is when I was introduced to the course, and I found it extremely respectful profession, because CA course provides you with so much respect in the professional world, and also because I was absolutely in love with the subject of accountancy, I chose chartered accountancy course. I chose to pursue chartered accountancy course as my profession. This is what I had answered. Most of the students I see are doing CA or took commerce because they are not interested in science or arts. So I think this is going to be a very general and like general but still very personal to you kind of answer. So I love it. Then another question that is asked in the HR rounds is why Big Fours? Now there's a very simple answer to this question. The reason why I want to pursue my CA articleship into the Big Fours is because I want to get into job post qualification as a CA. Since I want to get into a job, the best option that I have is to do my CA articleship from Big Fours, because in that case I will have an exposure of the Big Fours from a very young age. This will provide me a huge exposure into the professional world that I want to be in post qualification, as well as it will provide me huge learnings which will benefit me post qualification. Also because I want to improve my communication skills in English, and I want to handle huge clientele and want to improve myself on a daily basis. I believe that pursuing my CA articleship in the Big Fours is the best option for me right now. So this is what I answered. The words might a little be here and there because I don't remember exactly what I answered, but I remember the exact points that I answered. That is, first, that I want to improve my communication skills and I want to get exposure. And second, because I want to go for a job post qualification, already decided. So, okay. So I've told you 3 questions. Another question, very important question, and the last question that is asked in the HR rounds mostly is, why should we choose you over others? Why should we select you over others? So a very basic but personal question, personal answer that I used to give to this question is that I believe that you should select me. Don't say over others. That is a negative line. Let them say whatever they want to say. You don't be negative. So you can say, I believe you should choose me is because I gave my both groups of CA intermediate together, and hence I believe I have a high resilience towards pressurizing environments. And as far as I have heard and as far as I know, Big Fours require huge resilience in the pressurizing environments because we have to handle huge clients, etc. So I believe I have that kind of resilience to be able to survive in the Big Fours, and not only survive, thrive in the Big Fours. And secondly, why I believe you should choose me is because I have really good communication skills. As I told you, that I love public speaking, debates, etc. Hence, I believe that I have good communication skills and I can talk with the clients, with the partners, with whoever, with confidence. And hence, I believe that you should choose me for CA articleship into your esteemed firm. So this was my answer. You can personalize it accordingly. For example, I said that since I gave both the groups together, I have huge resilience. You can say that I gave that I cleared CA intermediate along with BCom, regular college, and hence I have high resilience. Like whatever you can think of, but make it a little personal. Okay, so I think I've got into huge detail into the HR round itself, but I think these are all the questions that can be asked from you in the HR round. Then coming to the next round, which is nothing but the assessment exam. So this is nothing but an online proctored examination, which is of 30 to 40 minutes, in which they ask you 20-30 questions, which involve a mix of LR questions, logical reasoning questions, which you would have practiced in CA Foundation, English questions, basic English questions, grammatical questions, sentence framing questions, etc. So there will be LR, there will be English, and there will be maths. So 6 questions each mostly. And if you are average, if I believe if you are average to a good student in your school or in your CA Foundation intermediate student examination, I think you can clear it. Like I think 70% students clear these exams, so I don't think there's not much to worry about. In case of KPMG, there is a 3-hour something exam, assessment exam, which they take. I'm not sure how long the duration is right now, but at my time it was really long. So, and they ask you these general questions and everything, but I think most of the students pass. I don't know, these are very general questions. You wouldn't have it's basically related to how will you deal with the client, with the situation, etc. It's basic logical reasoning kind of questions. So that is the second part. The third part is going to be group discussion. Now, group discussion, as I told you, some firms take group discussion, some firms don't do group discussions. I'll tell you some tips for group discussions. Okay, I'll give you some tips for group discussion. First, always try to be the initiator. So suppose the interviewer has given 5 or 6 of you a topic and everybody is too shy to talk about it, to say something. Be the initiator. If nobody is saying something, you say something. If people are gonna say something, you say something first. So be the initiator. Second, suppose you are in the group discussion and there are 5 of you and 4 of you are talking, giving forth and back the points, okay, but there's one person who is silent. Okay, if you notice any such kind of person who is silent, encourage them to speak. Okay, it gives you extra brownie points because it tells that you have leadership skills, right? Suppose you are in a group and one person is too shy to speak and you are encouraging them to speak. It shows nothing but your leadership skills. So get yourself those extra brownie points. Third and most important tip that I'd like to give you is stay on your point. Suppose there is against and for and you took the for part in the beginning of the group discussion. Make sure you stay on that point till the very end of the discussion. Don't switch sides. Don't be a flipper. Stay true to what you chose. Okay, you can always appreciate the other point. You can always say that, oh, you gave me a fresh perspective or something, but stay true to your side. These are the 3 tips that I would like to give for group discussions. Try to be as much enthusiastic as possible. Try to speak as much as possible. Yes. So this is all about GD. Now let's talk about the 4th part, which is nothing but the technical round. This is the main round. So let me tell you, in most of the firms and in most of the articleship selection process, what they do is they go directly from the first step to the second step. First step is HR round, directly from HR round to technical round. Okay, mostly they skip the assessment and the GD, but in some of the firms they take assessment and GD, so I talked about it. In some situations I've also seen that after technical round they don't even take partner round. So HR round and technical or partner round and you are in. So in 2 steps you are in. I've also seen situations like that, but that is only when the firm is in dire need of resources and they are doing bulk hiring. Only and only in those cases. Otherwise they go step by step. So let me talk about technical round. So basically I am only going to talk about stat, audit, domain, technical rounds. Why? Because I did not give any interviews for internal audit domain or for taxation domain. Since I did not give interviews, I do not know what kind of questions are they asking. If you want to go for internal audit domain or taxation domain, please refer to your seniors or please see the LinkedIn posts of the people who are into those domains. They will be of better help to you. But as far as I know, 70 to 80% students who are applying for CA articleship apply for stat domain in these big 4s and big 6s because the maximum amount of vacancies are also in these domains. So I'm going to talk about stat audit domain. So most important thing for stat audit domain articleship interviews is AS and SA. AS and SA. Say with me, AS and SA. I'm telling you, they are gonna talk and ask only about AS and SA. There might be 20% questions from law. So, as far as I know, because let me tell you, I gave 5 to 6 mid-size firms interviews, and then I gave 5 interviews in big 6s. So out of big 6s, I have given interviews in 5 of the big 6s, and I have got selected in 4 out of these 5, and I got selected in all of the mid-size firms interviews that I gave, and I gave 5 to 6 mid-size firms interviews. So I know I know what I'm talking about, right? So let me tell you, the percentage mostly for start audit domain is going to be 40% AS, 40% SA, 20% law. Okay. Now, let's talk about AS. I'm going to tell you the most important ASs, the most important ASs that were asked in all of the interviews. See, the thing is, in all of the interviews, there were 60% ASs which were common and 40% which varied. So I am going to tell you about the 60%, which was the most common AS asked in all of the interviews. There was not even a single interview in which these ASs were not asked. So these are ultra important. So first is AS2, valuation of inventories, very important. Second is AS9, revenue recognition, very important. Third is Ind AS 115. I know Ind AS was not in your syllabus. Ind AS is not in CA intermediate syllabus. But who is going to tell that to the interviewers? These interviewers are directors, partners or managers in these big fours and big sixes, and they don't know your CA intermediate syllabus. If they come prepared, which is 0.1% chance, they might know that Ind AS is not in your syllabus. Otherwise, they don't know that Ind AS is not in your syllabus. What happens in that case is, they end up asking you Ind AS 115 and you end up saying that it was not in your syllabus. And all the interviews that I gave, 9 to 10 interviews that I gave, all of the interviewers asked me about Ind AS 115. So my advice will be, prepare Ind AS 115, and if they ask about any other Ind AS, you can always say that it was not in our syllabus, but prepare Ind AS 115 because it is a common question and then it will give you brownie points. Ind AS 115 is nothing but revenue recognition only. Okay, so now the kind of questions that are asked. So in from AS2, they are going to ask you how is stock valued at the end of the year, so cost or an RV, whichever is lower, how to treat abnormal loss. These kind of questions will be asked, basic questions, very basic questions, or they will give you a case study which also you will be able to answer. My only advice will be, whatever ASs and essays I am telling you, which are ultra important and asked in all the interviews, prepare them thoroughly. When I say thoroughly, don't just read them, learn them. Learn each and every point of those ASs and essays and solve their case studies and all the questions that are given in your MCQ or something, and watch as many videos as possible for these ASs and essays, so you get a practical approach also on how to deal with these ASs and essays. So AS2. Second is AS9, as I told you. So AS9 mein, what is the most important question that is asked is, how will you deal with, how will you recognize revenue for sale of goods? How will you recognize revenue for sale of services? So point of time, etc. Those tables, you know, right? And then, you know, there are specific cases which are given at the end of AS9. Very important. They are definitely going to ask you from those exceptional cases, important cases, remember them. And in AS 115, it's a 5-step process basically. Prepare it, just learn the steps. That's all. Fine. Okay. Then AS10. AS10 is not very important, I would say, but important. The most important thing in AS10 is those entries of revaluation of PPE. If loss happens, if gain happens, revaluation, reserve, P&L, those entries, you know, important. Now, when I tell you about these ASs, please understand that you have to learn and prepare thoroughly all the ASs that are in your CA intermediate syllabus. All the ASs. But the ones which I am saying ultra important are the ones which they are definitely going to ask you. So 40 to 50% questions will be from these ASs, and another 50% you don't know. Like these another 50% questions will be from whatever AS they find interesting or whatever they want to ask from. Okay, that I don't know. But you have to prepare ASs and essays thoroughly. Like I remember, I prepared ASs and essays better for my articleship interviews rather than for my exams. Had I prepared ASs and essays like how I prepared it for interviews, had I prepared like that for exams, I would have scored above 80. I would have scored 80 plus in accounts and audit. So you have to prepare it really well. Then talking about essays, The most important essay series is 700 series, and the most important questions from the essay series is types of opinion that an auditor can give, and modified opinion, qualified opinion. Okay, the contents of an audit report, very important. All the points, learn it, ratto it, mug it up. All the points of audit report, difference between emphasis of matter, paragraph, and whatever. Basically essay 700 series, very important. Then there is this one essay which is for going concern. I don't remember the essay. 570, going concern, very important. Somehow it was asked in all of my interviews, so I don't know if it's luck or what. Other than that, as I told you, you have to prepare thoroughly all the essays and essays. One question which I was asked, and is a very interesting question, is tell me which is your favorite AS. And I said AS1. So said explain it, and then I gave a 10-minute speech on the AS1. So yeah, it's very interesting. So in many of the interviews you'll be asked explain your favorite AS or explain your favorite essay. So prepare one favorite AS, prepare one favorite essay, and learn it, prepare it like you are supposed to give a monologue on it. You are supposed to give a monologue on that AS or essay. Prepare it like that. Okay. Then some other important questions is which they can ask in technical round is difference between Caro 2016 and Caro 2020. Then Caro, learn it, Caro 2020, mug it up. They'll ask you any point. Okay, and they can ask you in-depth questions, so mug it up. Caro 2020. Current affairs, I am not good with GK. I tried doing current affairs, but I was not able to do it because I have zero knowledge on current affairs. So I am not going to do any tippani on that. Okay, now this is all about your technical round. Now coming to the most important, partner round. Not the most important, basically the last step of the process, partner round. So let me tell you one thing. If you have cleared through the technical round, like if you have cleared the 4 steps of the articleship interview, you have cleared till the technical round, you are 99% in, 99.99% in. You are selected into your firm. So the partner round is basically just the 0.1%. So in the partner round, basically what happens is, what I had heard is that partner rounds are nothing. It's just general rounds in which they just introduce, you are supposed to introduce yourself and you are supposed to get to know each other, and they'll introduce you to the firm. They'll tell you about their mission, vision, etc. This is what they say. But all of the partner rounds that I gave, I was grilled. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I was grilled. I was told it's max gonna be 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But in my partner round, it went for 35 to 40 minutes. And my partner round was more technical than the partner round itself. So please, people will say things, but don't be lenient in your preparation towards partner round. Revise everything that you, just like how you had prepared for technical round, prepare that well for the partner round. Even though you are 99% in, still, suppose you are not able to answer 50 to 60% of the questions, you think the partner is going to select you? No. So prepare for the partner round as well, just like how you prepared for technical round. So what happened in my partner round is, like, they asked me where are you from and everything, and I was just answering, and I was like, now the interview will get over. And then my partner says that I was just getting to know you better before coming to the technical part. And I was shocked. There's a technical part? Didn't I just clear the technical round? And then they asked me certain questions. I was able to answer 80%. In partner round, they asked me types of opinion, essay 700, tell me contents of audit report. So again, 5-minute full monologue happened. Then he asked me, okay, tell me the line items in balance sheet, tell me the line items in P&L. So prepare well. Also I forgot, as I told you, in technical round, 20% questions might be from law. Now when I say law, basically learn all the thresholds, numbers, amount, learn CSR thresholds, very important. I was asked how many board meetings take place in a year in a company, and I didn't know the answer. I was embarrassed. It's 4. Okay. So I think this is all about the CA articleship selection process. I have been as elaborate as I could be, and I have told you everything that I could have told. This is what I have given you, a general walkthrough of the CA articleship selection process. Now in the next video, I will be sharing about my own experience. What questions was I asked? What answers did I give? What mistakes did I do which you should not do? What tips did I follow which you should definitely follow? And some tips, tricks, etc. from my articleship interview experience, because as I told you, I gave 4-5 in mid-size just to get a hold, just to get a grip of interviews, because it was the first time I was giving interviews, right? And I did not directly want to give an interview in a big 4 or a big 6, so I practiced from the mid-sizes. So I'm going to talk about these things in the next interview, but I think this is going to be it for CA articleship interview process. Last but not the least, the most important thing that you have to keep in mind is during these articleship interviews is hold a smile and hold your confidence. A smile and confidence goes a long way. Okay. Also, I have been getting many queries in my comment section, and also people are mailing me with their articleship queries, and they want me to review their resumes, etc, etc, etc. So I'll be dropping my TopMate link in the description box below. You can book a session through TopMate from this link. It's going to be around 100 rupees per session, which is going to last for 30 minutes. But in these sessions, I will review your resume. I will answer all your queries. So I'll be answering all your queries regarding CA articleship in the Big 4s, Big 6s, whatever kind of questions you have, whatever personal questions you want to ask me, anything. So if you need any guidance, personalized guidance for your CA articleship, you can always book a session through the link. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day ahead and all the best for your CA journey ahead. Thank you for watching, guys.